Hello everyone, welcome back to Spyro the Dragon, and we are here in this level whose name I already forget, because I wasn't paying attention. And this is another kind of big level that has a place in it that I don't know how to get to. I was very confused by this level on my first playthrough, and I guess I still kind of am. I know my way around better this time, though, and I don't know why when I first played through it I just assumed that you couldn't kill these dudes with the balloons, because you absolutely can. Ignore that. That was a mistake. Yeah, it's cool, though. I really like the music in this stage. I think I've talked about how I like the music in this game before, but just to reiterate, I think the music in this game is really good. I don't know anything about music, so I can't, comment on it as far as its, quality musically, but, I think a lot of them sound pretty. They match the sort of, dreamy quality that I get from the look of this game and the feel of it. I've mentioned before that this seems like a game that I could see myself, if I had played it as a kid, I could see myself having dreams about being in these worlds, as I often did with the games that I played as a kid. And, yeah, I stand by that, and I think the music has a lot to do with that feeling. But other than that, I don't have much to say about this level other than that I enjoy it. I think it looks very pretty. I like the music, and I don't know, it's good. I like that the fairies carry you around. I like that this guy's named Mudada.
On your side, Spyro.
What's been going on with me since the last time I recorded? I have to record all of this week's videos in advance, because, as I've said before, Liv and I are going on a little bit of a vacation with her family, just to a house. We will be secluded. We won't be going on the beach and everything. God has already punished me for going on the beach with my sunburn, which has now peeled off and is fine, which is nice. I can wear shirts without being uncomfortable again. And my cut from when I cut my hand on glass is going away. Took a while to heal, and I still keep a band-aid on it when I am going outside or handling a controller, because it still hurts to touch things to it too much. But it's basically fine. I just have to wait for the scab to fall off and the dry skin underneath to stop being so dry so I can bend my hand without it hurting. Don't know how I missed that balloon guy, but whatever, and he killed me. That's cool. But yeah, so that's cool, all my minor ailments are, or at least the current ones seem to be, clearing up, which is nice. I've been watching a lot of movies. I haven't talked about any of them because, I don't know, I really want to write a bunch of stuff, and I do have a bunch of stuff on the back burner, things that I want to do, videos and just written things. But at the same time, I need to remember to just, take in the things that I am watching and not try so hard to... I'm the kind of person who I get kind of frustrated when I can't really comprehend all that I, see in a movie or that I'm feeling in a movie or anything else the first time around. With most movies worth their salt, I feel like they take multiple viewings to fully appreciate as much as you're ever going to. And, but, I want to, get it all right away, and I want to feel like a big smarty all the time, but, it's really not, it doesn't matter, and I have to keep reminding myself of that. and like not to look at everything as just like fodder for, something to write. Although I that is mainly what I want to do in life, is synthesize the things that I do and think into writing. But anyway, here's yet another supercharge area that I don't understand. I mean, I understand that you can take it to get over here, and I'll show it a little bit later in more detail. But yeah, that ledge that I'm not facing right now, but that one over there where there's sparkling stuff, I believe that's where you need to supercharge to, and something tells me you need to supercharge and then like use this little thing to wrap yourself around and then come off that other edge. I don't know how to do that. I tried it a couple of times off screen. I died all those times, so I don't know. If anyone wants to tell me, they can. Maybe before I finish this game, this LP, I'll watch like a long play of the game and try to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And I want to at least try to get all the dragons if I can. Like, I'm definitely not going to, like, just for the sake of ending the LP and not like wasting everybody's time waiting, because I'm gonna like want to put it off, and I want to just like finish this game and then move on to another thing. So yeah, if like I don't think I'm gonna go and get all the gems, or if I miss all the eggs or whatever. I think I've been pretty good about getting most of them and like showing off as much of the area and exploring the area as much as I can. But the dragons, I feel like there's 80 dragons, and I have 60 something at this point. I don't know. And so I feel like I could probably figure out where all of them are, but I'm sure that figuring out where all the dragons are pretty much also entails figuring out where all of the gems are, because if the dragons are in a place that I don't know how to reach or don't know where it is in a level, then it's likely that the gems I'm missing are also in that place, I would wager. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll end up, those two goals will end up just sort of completing each other, but the dragons is the only one I think I might hold myself to, and even then, I don't know. We'll see. It all depends on my mood going forward. But I like playing this game, and I like the collectathon element of it, so I want to do it some justice and, try to get as much stuff as I can, but I'm not going to, delay or elongate the LP to unentertaining lengths in order to do that. Other than that, the other thing that's been going on is that I've been trying to find a new, like, YouTube thing to get into, like a new YouTube subculture. I have become really interested in, like, trying to find smaller niches of types of videos and, just lesser, sort of, not like incredibly popular YouTube stuff. That's really all it is. I like finding stuff that feels more like homegrown and organic. Not to say that, more popular content isn't organic or authentic or whatever word you want to use. I don't really know what quality I'm thinking of when I am trying to describe what it is, what kind of video I'm looking for. It really isn't even a kind. Like, it's not a category unto itself. It's just kind of a feeling or a whatever that I get with certain videos. The best sort of way, and even if they're popular, but like, when I say popular, I mean like people with millions and millions of subscribers, and like subcultures where if you are a major YouTuber in that subculture, you're like a celebrity. Like, beauty YouTube is huge. Gaming YouTube is huge. I mean, I would like to see some video game stuff, but I would mostly want to see more like video game critique, more serious critique. And some of you have recommended videos that I have since watched that do some good serious video game critique. And not all of it exactly goes as far as I want to, but I don't know if I don't know if anybody does, at least not in video format. I don't know if anybody has, that is. Or at least not that many people. But yeah, that's sort of the, thing about video games, as I'm sure many of you are aware, that I've been sort of fixating on. And that has been cool, so maybe that can be my thing. But again, that, those kinds of videos are pretty few. There aren't that many people making really good ones. And, also some of them are about games that I don't know or care about, and so I can't really... the context of the game that they use to make certain points about games as a medium, or the industry, or what have you, or game design, or whatever, I can't really, grasp them quite as much, so, it's limited a little bit. But, I don't know, but there are other little subcultures of YouTube that I've enjoyed over the years, like roller coaster YouTube. Earlier this year, I talked about how I briefly got into a lot of Dead Mall videos. Those are cool. I guess there's still many of those that I could still watch. So that could be a thing. I delved a little bit, and by that I mean literally a couple of videos, short videos, of miniature construction models. There was this warehouse meet sort of video of RC construction vehicles, and I watched another one, and a guy making a model of a concrete bridge. And I like that sort of thing. I like watching people make models, but for one thing, I like videos with talking generally. And because most of them are just royalty-free music over time-lapse footage of people making stuff, which can be fun, but I don't know, I need something a little more than just watching someone make something. Which doesn't mean that it can't be something that's low-key, or not much is happening, or it's nothing super cerebral, or commentary heavy or whatever. I don't know what I'm looking for. It's flashes of things in my mind when I think of what I'm talking about and what I'm hoping to find, and I can't really approximate them well with language, and that's why it's hard to find, and it's only when you happen upon these sorts of things, usually by chance, and that was a wonderful thing. And the sun is in the ground. We're really high up. We're above the sun. It's only when you happen upon these things by chance that you realize that you have found something that you're looking for. Anyway, here's another part where you can get a little smooch from the fairy. This is also the first level where they, outwardly tell you that. Or, no, I guess we already did that one, right? Didn't we do... Or is this the one... Is this the level that I'm thinking of? Because I already played it. But I think we got a fairy kiss in the castle one. Or no, wait, this is the castle one. Okay, yeah, this is the one that I'm thinking of. Wow, I'm a Dumbo. Yeah, so I think this is the first level where they actually tell you about the fairy's kiss, but it shows up in an earlier level, as I found out earlier in this LP, which makes me question whether or not there are more of them in other early levels that I just haven't found. I suppose one could figure that out, but will one? But yeah, so I don't know, if you have any cool, sort of just weird corners of YouTube that you think I would enjoy, or specific games, be they video game critique or video game related or not, it would be nice to find Let's Play people, game commentary people that I enjoy, but I just don't really go for the style of commentary of a lot of Let's Players. And it would have to be of games that I enjoy, and I don't know, usually, as I've said before, I don't watch too many LP videos because they're very long, but I also watch a lot of other long videos, so I guess if it's something that I like and I enjoy the commentary, then I guess it wouldn't be bad to do that as a thing. And, speaking of video game critique, I was having a discussion with JT a few days ago, and JT is not a gamer, per se, but he, is... I don't know what I was about to say. Like, I was gonna say aware of gamer culture, which isn't... that's not what I want to say. Whatever. We were talking about video games and how I want to, write or do something about video games as a medium and critiquing them more critically, for lack of a better word. And critically not as in, hoping to criticize, hoping to disparage, necessarily. But, critical analysis, critiquing it on the level of how it uses its form, and, what certain games, say about the form, use the form of the medium, as has been applied to, literature and films and visual art for centuries. Just apply that same sort of analysis to video games, and I am particularly sympathetic to and fond of a materialist analysis of pretty much all art, and video games included, and I would like to find something like that. So I was telling JT about that, and I also was watching some reviews of Mario games that I found that were very good, and I had this thought about how, Mario and Zelda games and a lot of games that are molded after them, in many ways are really good examples of what I think, not necessarily what I think video games should aspire to, because I don't really want to, my interest in critiquing video games is not in trying to say what they should be doing differently, but more just making sense of the conventions of video games and of the sort of limitations of the medium and all of that, and of the respective genres that we have carved out for games, and the limitations of the conventions that we a real reckoning of the medium. There needs to be a Godard of video games, and maybe that person already exists. Maybe they're already making stuff, but just their interrogation of the medium and their experimentation with the medium hasn't been recognized as such yet, or whatever. I mean, it could happen. But I generally seem to think that video games that are not so much concerned with narrative, but more with just the sort of elemental and experiential parts of video games, the way you interact with the game world is much more central to the experience that the game wants to give you, if that makes any sense. A lot of AAA games are very story heavy, and in my GTA 4 LP, I talked a lot about the dissonance that happens between a lot of narratives in games, in big games, and with their gameplay. How there are things that are obvious, sometimes Nico in cutscenes is remorseful about violence, but then because it's an open world game, you can go and run down 1,000 people if you want, and it doesn't complicate things. Another sort of infamous recent example is the 2013 Tomb Raider movie, where similarly Lara Croft in the cutscenes and in the text of the story is portrayed as being not wanting to kill people or do violent things, but then the game encourages and even requires you to do a lot of that, and it doesn't factor into the narrative at all. I think those are like really basic examples of that dissonance, but I think it exists on a much more elemental level in, I won't say all, but a lot of major games that have sort of traditional narratives. And I think it's part of, like everything with every medium, it's because of the limitations of the medium and the conventions that, we've created for the medium. And so, AAA games a lot of the times with their cutscenes just, mimic movies. And even in, gameplay sections, there are games that mimic film. But the interactivity, which is the central, aspect of video games as a medium, it's the thing setting it apart from everything else, doesn't always work on the same, artistic, thematic, whatever, psychological wavelength as the text of the narrative. And so it would be really cool to see more games try to weave like complex storytelling into their gameplay mechanics and take that more formalist approach that, is more aware of the medium that it's in. But I think it would require them to be a lot more high concept, and as a result, probably not nearly as marketable to large audiences. Like, you would probably have to do something close to Disco Elysium, where, incrementally, all of your decisions, your gameplay decisions, actually not only have a cumulative effect on the outcome of things, and when I say outcome, I don't even necessarily mean the ending, I just mean, like, the world in that game, how the characters, which characters are left alive at the end, which characters like you and for what reasons, what certain characters know about other things, etc., are all affected by your decision making in the game. But also thematically, like the choices and the dialogue options in Disco Elysium, not just in their content but in the way they work, reinforce the game's themes of like people's individuals' place in their society and in their history and how they affect those things and reflect those things. And so I think something like Mario and Zelda games are very, like, they remove the sort of story that's less important and it's more about the experiential gameplay stuff. And I think that's why they're stronger, because they focus so hard on that, and the gameplay and what the game is trying to connect you with are more harmonious. I'd like to talk more about it, but I have to do it next time when we face off Jacques, the next boss, so see you then for that.